Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to be talking about some sleeper teams we got this year. Some teams that you need to take seriously. Like, seriously. These are some good teams. So, first of all, I'm going to start off with a team that is being talked about and kind of hyped up by a few members, but I don't think the fans are really taking them seriously, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, they've had some ups and downs. Mike Zimmer, there were times where I thought he should be coach of the year. 4, like 5 years ago, whenever that was, when he took Case Keenum to the NFC Championship. I thought any coach that can take Case Keenum to the NFC Championship deserves Coach of the Year. He didn't win it. I think Sean McVay did, but still, like that dude had some good times. The Vikings had some good times. And it all came down, crashed and burned, and we got what we got this year. We got people criticizing Kirk Cousins because he can't play well in primetime games, and then we got people criticizing the health of Dalvin Cook, and but everybody loving Justin Jefferson. So let's just talk about why I think this team is gonna surprise people and needs to be taken seriously. I think reason number one is Kirk Cousins. Don't hate. It's Kirk Cousins. The man, let me ask you this. How would you feel if your team's quarterback went 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions with over 4,000 yards? You'd say, that's a good year. I'll take that. I mean, speaking from experience with the quarterback, I'm not going to say my team, but I would take that in a heartbeat from my quarterback this year. And I think he's severely underrated. He killed it with the Redskins. He killed it with, Commanders. And he's killed it with the Vikings. I mean, to a certain point, he hasn't had like team success, but team success is based on the team, not just him. Now he's got a plethora of weapons at his disposal with Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Justin Jefferson, and now they just traded for Jalen Rager, which I think is also a solid pickup. I liked him coming out of college. Thought he was going to be the next Tyreek Hill. Hasn't really gone that way, but we're going to just keep on moving forward with that. Maybe Kevin O'Connell can unlock something in him. I mean, we didn't know much about Robert Woods until he got to the Rams and kind of blew up. He was just kind of an okay receiver for the Bills before that. But then when he got to the Rams, good number two receiver, just pretty much instantly. And so maybe we can see that out of Jalen Rager. I think it's a like not much that they had to pay up, but it could bring big dividends for them. So that was a good move by the Vikings, one that I really liked. But this team, I would say that the offensive line and defense are so suspect. They need to get better. I think Kevin O'Connell will scheme away for the offensive line to not be so much of a blemish on the offense. I mean, but because you got so many good weapons. I mean, you got the receivers that I already mentioned. You got Irv Smith, who's a solid tight end. He can block pretty well, and he's a decent receiver. Good tight end there. And then you got Dalvin Cook and even Alexander Madison behind him. That's a nice two-headed running back right there. There are times where Dalvin Cook wasn't available and Madison still was just as effective. So I think those two in the backfield also provides enough for Kirk Cousins. Kevin O'Connell, what are the Rams really known for? Their play action offense, and that's what Kevin O'Connell is bringing to the Vikings. And what do we know that Kirk Cousins thrives in? Oh yeah, a play action offense. His best years were under Kevin Stefanski, who also instituted a play action offense. And that was when Kirk Cousins was at his best. Even when he was on the Commanders, we said he's one of the best play action quarterbacks in the NFL. If you look at the stats, go back and look at him. He's one of the best. He was one of the best in the NFL at play action when he was in Washington. So if that can carry over to this Washington, Minnesota Vikings team, they're primed for breakout. They don't even have that strong of a division around them. The Detroit Lions, I don't think are even that good. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to pull out a few wins. They're going to be a tough team to play each week, but I don't know how many wins they're going to be able to pull out. I don't think Jared Goff is that good. The rest of their team is just kind of so, and they need like another year or two. Besides that, the Bears, I like Justin Fields, but the Bears roster is just not there. So I think they're also going to have a tough sledding. They might finish below the Lions, I think, in the division. And the Packers, listen, I know they have a great defense. They really do. But their offense is just, they have the MVP and a good offensive line. I'll give them that. But then the receiving core is just so putrid right now. It's so bad. I mean, Alan Lazard was an undrafted free agent. I mean, he he can't run fast. He's a big body, so he's got a wide catch radius. But that's who Aaron Rodgers is going to be going to. And I don't know if I like the idea of my number one receiver being that guy. Then you got AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones in the backfield, which are good running backs. So hopefully they'll rely on them more. Maybe get Aaron Rodgers into that play action offense like they're going to be doing with Kirk Cousins. Maybe that would help that offense excel even more. Get the linebackers moving, get the wide receivers now moving more in space, and being able to just find, not beat the man across from them because a lot of them aren't that good, but find the open zone in the coverage. So I think the Vikings are actually going to win their division. So that's my prediction. I think Vikings win their division. They're a team you need to take seriously because that offense is going to be firing on all cylinders. Defense might be lit up a bit, but I think the offense is going to score more. Now, second team that I'm going to be talking about that you need to take seriously is the Oakland Raiders. Sorry, not Oakland. Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah. So a lot of people are already saying you need to take Vikings and Raiders seriously, but I just really want to emphasize like how seriously we need to take them. I mean, the Raiders made it to the playoffs with Rich Bisaccia as their head coach last year. I mean, what? Who? No. But they got Josh McDaniels as their head coach, which I say what you want about what he did in Denver. It was bad, it really was. But honestly, that team wasn't terrible with him. Now everyone hated his guts, and I think he's going to be a lot better at managing players at this destination. But as far as like coaching wise, I don't think he was ever a bad coach. I don't think that was ever in doubt. I mean, look at the Patriots' offense without him; it's in shambles. Now that might be due in part because Belichick handed the responsibilities to a defensive coordinator, but Josh McDaniels is going to get this offense up and running. You got Derek Carr, who I think is an underrated quarterback in this league. He's like borderline top 10. He didn't have, honestly, I thought he was going to have better stats when I looked at him. They're like 26 and 13, something like that. It was just a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. But I would have expected better, almost like Kirk Cousins level, but no. But he's still a good quarterback. He hasn't had much talent over his years since Amari Cooper left. Even when he had Amari Cooper, there was not much else besides that. But he still turns out, plays well, gets the Raiders contending, and then this year they even made the playoffs over Justin Herbert. So you might say, oh, it's not Justin Herbert's fault. I get that. I get it. I'm just saying, for example, like Derek Carr is a good quarterback. And now he's got Devontae Adams, his college teammate, who was probably the best receiver in football last year. And they got him, and they got Josh Jacobs, and they also got Darren Waller, which is one of the best tight ends in the league. So that's going to be good for the Raiders. Then they also signed Chandler Jones, who is a top pass rusher in the league. Now I know he had those six or whatever ungodly number it was sacks in the one game. That might have inflated his numbers, but I think he's still a solid pass rusher. I don't know if Arizona was the best place for him to showcase that, but now he will get to on the Raiders, and I think he'll take full advantage. Max Crosby and Chandler Jones are a force to be reckoned with. The rest of the defense, I mean, Trayvon Murray, I look forward to watching, but besides that, not much to write home about. So I think they're going to struggle a little bit, but I think the offense is also, this is almost like the Vikings where I think defense is going to struggle, and the offensive line is going to struggle. But like Josh McDaniels, like Kevin O'Connell, I think is going to scheme around that like he has in New England. The New England had not great roster spots for not great players in spots on their offensive line, but their offensive line always played well. So I think that's what's going to happen with the Raiders as well. He'll get them playing okay enough to get by. I think the Raiders are going to have a top 10 offense. I think the Vikings are going to have a top 10 offense, maybe even top 5 for the Vikings. I think that's feasible. So these are two teams that I think are going to have very potent offenses that you're going to deal with putting up 30 points on you a game, which I know we might see Patrick Mahomes put up 40, whatever, but that's a huge jump from what they were doing last year. So overall, I think it's, and also we see defenses are also more advanced in the beginning of seasons, and the offenses kind of have to catch up. I don't think that's going to be the case for the Vikings and Raiders. I think they're going to be firing out of the gate immediately. So that's something I'd like to say. These two teams need to be taken seriously. All right, so take them serious. Vikings and the Raiders. Raiders, I don't think will win their division. They'll make the wild card and they'll win a playoff game. I'm calling it. They'll win a playoff game. Vikings will win the division. I don't know about playoff game. We'll talk about that one later. That's my predictions right now. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Watch my other videos. Put a comment down if you want me to talk about other teams. Some other teams I thought about talking about were the Eagles and the Panthers. There's some question marks with those teams. If you guys think I should talk about them, let me know. But I might do a video on it regardless. But thanks for watching, guys, and catch you in the next one.